tonight over in the MMA.
As mentioned earlier on, she trains under her father, Chels Hackett.
More of an uncomfortable position for Danielle than it is for Chelsea as she breaks and she...
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, final round, final 30 seconds. Let's hear your...
This is where Chelsea needs to be. Those knees are deadly.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a long time since I've posted a video, and in that time a lot has happened in my life and also all of our lives with the coronavirus going on. My wishes are with everybody and their families, and hope you're all staying safe and healthy and staying as sane as we can. So yeah, a lot has happened. I had my fight about a month ago, my 4th pro MMA fight, and got the win. It was a great fight. I had so much fun. Rhiannon was an awesome opponent, and I knew she would stand and bang with me, and that's exactly what she did. So yeah, today's video will be a Q&A that you would have seen on my Instagram. I got people to ask me questions about anything, and they definitely did. I had a lot of questions, so I'm only going to answer a few of the important ones and good ones that I think you'd all like to know the answers to. With that being said, let's get started with the questions. The first question from Luke is, what made you get into MMA? I love UFC and I've always loved MMA as a sport. And always in the back of my mind, I'd see the girls fight and I'd think, oh, I'd love to do that, you know, like, but never really thinking too much into like the other aspects of MMA, which is jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So I always watched it and was like, yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love to do that one day. But it almost felt like it was in the future, way into the future. You know, I need to do lots of BJJ training and wrestling under my belt before I even thought about fighting MMA. And yeah, one day I just said to my dad, you know, what do you think about me training jiu-jitsu? And Dad was all for it. And at the time we took it as cross training. So just to get me stronger in my clinch for Muay Thai, you know, without thinking too much about MMA. It was more just a cross training sport to do alongside my Muay Thai career. So I started jiu-jitsu and when I was about 18, 19 maybe. And then about 6 months into it, I really got the hang of jiu-jitsu like super quickly. I was all ears. I was open to learning this new martial art. And then 6 months later, my jiu-jitsu coaches at the time asked if I'd be interested in having an MMA fight. And I remember talking to Mum and Dad, and they were all for it. Obviously, making sure that, you know, I knew as much as I possibly could before going into my first MMA fight with the ground game and with the wrestling. So I would say just years of watching UFC got me into MMA, and obviously already having my striking background really helped. So yeah. Question number 2. I don't know, can't really read that name, but this person asked, when did you know you had a good chin? Who tested it the most? And who was the hardest hitter you've faced? This one's a tough one. I feel like all of my opponents have been tough in their own way, but in saying that, the hardest I've ever been hit would have to be in the IFMA World Games, which was in 16. So I went both years, but 2016 I fought a girl from the Netherlands. She was the same age, same weight. We came in identical in that matter. And then when we fought, I remember about 10 seconds into the first round, she just smacked me with a right hand. And in the IFMA Games, we were wearing headgear. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. Straight down the middle, right hand, and I just like saw stars for a good 5-10 seconds. Yeah, that like rattled me. But then after that, I kind of just saw red and just I was on. Like I got super aggressive, hit her just as hard back, ended up winning the fight. But like still to this day, she was definitely the hardest hitter I've faced. Her name was Anne. I think Anne from the Netherlands, so props to her. Okay, the next question is from Sarah. Will you ever fight Muay Thai again? The answer is no, I will never fight Muay Thai again. I'm super hooked to MMA, so no more Muay Thai for me. Although I still feel like, you know, I do show a lot of my Muay Thai in MMA fights, so I don't miss it too much in that aspect. The reason why I won't fight Muay Thai again is purely just because I have put so much of my time and energy into transitioning to MMA and have done so successfully. So I don't really miss Muay Thai, and I think that would be a backward step for me in where I'm, you know, where my future is and where I want to go. So that is the reason why I won't be fighting Muay Thai again. I'll be sticking to MMA. Next question is from David. What promotions have you fought on? What are your favourites and why? So obviously in Muay Thai, I fought on heaps of shows. I had 23 Muay Thai fights. So in Muay Thai, I fought on, you know, the local Destiny Muay Thai. I fought on Battle by the Bay back in its day. I fought on IFMA, the IFMA World Games. So they're the Muay Thai shows. My favourite Muay Thai show would definitely be Destiny. Back in its day, it was epic. The fighters on there were epic. So definitely Destiny for Muay Thai. And for MMA, I've only fought on Eternal MMA, which I highly rate. I have nothing but good things to say about the show itself, the promoters. They look after you so well. I've had all my 4 pro MMA fights on Eternal and all on the Gold Coast, so I've been really lucky to fight in front of my hometown every MMA fight I've had. So yeah, Eternal, obviously I can't compare another MMA show to Eternal yet, but yeah, Eternal's awesome. Next question is from Maddie, and she's asked, I get super scared going into the ring, so do you have any tips on how to calm the nerves? This is a great question. I do get this one quite a lot, but it's super hard to answer, I think, because nerves are nerves. You will always have nerves. To this day, like I've had 27 fights and I still have nerves and still get nervous going into the cage or ring. But it's how you control your emotions and those nerves. That's really important, because if you don't, you can definitely get stage fright when you get into the ring or the cage and pretty much just not know what to do, and you know, you're not thinking straight. So I think it's very important to really start to learn more about yourself and your emotions and how you can control them before each fight. It's easier said than done. Like, I've been through it. Like, my first probably 12 to 15 fights, I would go in there and just have stage fright and just not really know what to do. And it was only until like round 2 when, you know, I'm starting to feel it that I come to. But I would never start round 1 firing and on, and calm. Like, that was just never a thing in my first few fights. So I started to, you know, I've never had a mind coach or anything like that. It was just, it came with experience and just racking up a lot of fights. And also, you know, the more you believe in yourself and the more you back yourself, the more confident you're going to be. So it definitely also coincides with your self-confidence. I feel like if you lack self-confidence or you struggle with that, then the nerves are going to be a little bit more real and harder to control. So I feel like you really need to just knuckle down and back yourself in your training and in your fighting, and really believe in yourself, and that will 100% guarantee that will settle your nerves. Next question is from Corbin. What sort of food do you eat in and also out of fight camp? Great question. I'm out of fight camp now, and my last fight was only a month ago. So before this kind of quarantine coronavirus thing hit, I am still kind of like going a bit nuts with my food. I'm being completely honest, guys. Every fighter knows when you're in fight camp, you are so strict and so, motivated towards this one goal, and you've got to make this one weight. So everything you eat is just so to a T from your dietitians. Everything is on point. So when you don't have to be on point, you don't want to be on point. And right now, I don't want to be on point. I'm really lucky to obviously have a dietitian in Geordie that is very understanding and is so supportive in and out of fight camps. And also I have a sponsor, Matt from TikTok Nutrition, who not only supplies me with my food in camp but also out of camp. So all I can honestly, from the bottom of my heart, recommend is you get a dietitian and you get someone that is, specializes in that field, like Geordie. I 100% recommend Geordie. He works with UFC fighters. He's just so onto it. You don't have to eat, fucking no carbs to cut weight. Like the shit that I used to do to make weight, is fucked up. Like now, the stuff I'm eating, and I'm still hitting my targets every week, it's giving me more fuel, more energy for my training sessions, and that's exactly what we need. It's not all about making the weight. Yes, that's like 50% of it, but the other 50% you have to win and you have to fight well. So you got to make sure you've got that energy in your training sessions. Next question from Amy. How many weight/cardio sessions do you do a week? Okay, so fight camp, we're basing this on fight camp. Weight sessions, I do 2 a week, 2 sessions per week with my S&C coach, Wade from Momentum Gym. I might add in another one myself, so it could be 3 a week, but most of the time 2. Cardio sessions, that 3rd session that I might add in a week for myself is usually a cardio/HIIT explosive power session that I'll just do in my gym on my own. And then the other cardio sessions are my sparring, my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu. Sometimes we mix that in with air bikes, and, pretty much every training session I do is cardio. As a lot of fighters would know, the one thing I've noticed transitioning from Muay Thai to MMA is the workload is on another level, because you've got so many disciplines in one sport. You've got jiu-jitsu, you've got wrestling, you've got striking, you got boxing, you got S&C, there's so much to do. So hence why I do up to 3 sessions a day just to get everything in. So when you've got that workload consistently every day for an 8 to 10 week fight camp, it's, you can burn out and you can overtrain. So you also have to be really skeptical about that. All right, guys, that was 10 questions. Now we're going to do 5 quick bonus questions, just really quickly to wrap this up. Next question. You're a pretty girl. Aren't you scared of having your face ruined? No. Biggest learning while being on your MMA journey? You never know too much. You have to stay open to everything. People are teaching you, new trainers. So yeah, leave your ego aside and always learn. Stay learning. Would you like to fight King Casey? Fuck yeah. What got you into fighting? My family. It was a family affair, Taekwondo, then we went straight to Muay Thai. So family affair. Most annoying question you get as a female fighter? Why do you fight? I get that all the time. People are like, why do you fight? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't know why I fight. I just love it. How do you answer that question? That's really annoying. Biggest mistake you've made during your fight career in Muay Thai and MMA? My first fight in MMA got put in an armbar in 30 seconds. Everyone was like, she's gone, her arm's gonna break. Yeah, that was a fucking big mistake, because obviously my takedown defense was not great then, but we live and we learn. Shout out to Mel Zeman. Thank you so much, guys. That is it for today. There was a lot of questions, so I will do this again another time. But in the meantime, I will keep pumping out the content for everybody, and I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of love.